This tree is a juniper. It's about 10 years old and I bought it in a bonsai nursery, so it has a lot of bonsai potential. Already put in a bonsai pot before I bought it. But the tree itself is quite unstyled, so there were some main branches cut off just to maintain a basic shape. But today we'll give it its first proper bonsai styling. It is fall right now, which is a really good time to do this kind of work on a juniper, but I would recommend to stick to pruning and a bit of wiring, but not repot at the same time. The tree would survive doing the repotting as well, but it would slow down a bit because it's just too much at the same time. So today only pruning and wiring, and then in the next early spring I might repot it, since I don't really like this pot that much. But for now it's fine. Before making decisions for all the branches, there's a few obvious things to remove, which are on this side of the trunk. They are basically just too thick to be branches, and they're not trunks either, so since they're also quite straight, I'm just going to remove them entirely. All right, that already cleans up the trunk quite well. So the shape of the trunk originally goes in this direction and it curves back here. So this branch or something right here will make a really nice directional branch as well. All right, so moving up a little bit higher on the trunk, so this will be the front of the tree. So trunk line goes in a nice movement, and then here it splits into a very thick section and a thinner one. So I'm inclined to use the thinner section here. So I'll actually remove this thick part of the trunk. And so also to reduce the height of the tree a little bit, I like the size of the tree, but I'll use one of these branches to function as the new apex of the tree, so I'm actually removing this part. And I think for now that was mostly of the big cuts. Some branches will be taken off, but I'll investigate the tree a little bit more and take it from there.
Deciding on the design of a bonsai isn't always easy, especially when a tree is as full and overgrown as this plant. Try to apply the pruning guidelines we just mentioned to your own trees. And if you are interested to learn more about these techniques, consider enrolling in one of our online bonsai courses. Here, expert teachers explain the relevant techniques, and you can ask them questions. For a free lesson, go to bonsaiempire.com/courses.
All right, so finished pruning. I explained the big cuts, but after that I cleaned the undersides of all the branches and upper sides a little bit as well and thinned it out, and now all these branches are ready to be wired. So that's the next step, putting some wire around these branches, and I do that so that I can put them in the good direction, and also that I can shape the branches a little bit, basically giving them slight S-curves, which are a bit similar to the trunk. So I just want to mimic that style of the trunk into the branches as well. You're looking at the front of the tree from here, so it's not planted exactly in the right angle in the pot, so it will be a little bit more like this. But for now, adding some wire, so we use aluminum wire, which is fine for now for how thin these branches are. and the wire will stay on for a few months, likely until sometime in spring, but I'll keep a close eye on the wire to make sure that it doesn't start to damage the branches. So just before that I will remove the wire and see if it needs to be wired again. First step, the wire, and then I'll set the branches in position, and that's pretty much all that we do for today.
Try to select pairs of branches that are more or less of the same thickness and wire these with one piece of wire. Start with wiring the main branches and slowly work your way up the tree. Smaller and thinner branches need a thinner wire as well.
Alright, so finished wiring all the branches and all the small side branches as well. So the next step is to set the branches in position. And like I mentioned, the trunk has a nice S-curves to it, so I want to mimic that in the branches as well. So taking this branch as an example, I'll bend it around my thumb and then bend it back. So it's just giving slight curves, and you can exaggerate the curves a little bit, because the moment you take the wire off, some of the shape will be lost. But going through the entire tree, setting all the branches in position, and that is all we will do for today. 6 months ago we styled this tree, pruned it and wired it, and then we decided not to do anything with the roots. It was in another pot which cracked, so I temporarily put it into this glazed pot. But today we'll repot it and put it in a much nicer pot that fits the juniper. So I'll most likely use an unglazed pot, and I have a few options available. One option is this pot, but let's see what happens if we work on the roots a little bit. And see what pot we can use for this tree best. It's planted in partly organic and partly inorganic soil. Seems to be a 50-50 mix of some sort. Today we'll make sure to place this in an inorganic bonsai substrate consisting of lava rock, pumice and akadama. And especially junipers, I think they really like this inorganic soil mixture. It drains out water much better than this organic soil.
Next, we prepare the pot by covering the drainage holes with a mesh. We also attach 2 long wires, which will be used to anchor the tree to the pot firmly. We add a layer of soil before placing the tree into the pot. The soil mixture we use is a blend of akadama, lava rock and pumice. You can read more about bonsai soil on our website, bonsaiempire.com. Place the tree slightly off-center in the pot and make sure to plant it at the right angle. Using the 2 long wires, we firmly attach the tree to the pot.
Alright, we have finished styling this tree, pruned and wired it and just repotted it. The only thing we have to do now is watering.
Learn how to create your own bonsai trees by enrolling in one of our online bonsai courses. We explain techniques like pruning, wiring and repotting, and you can ask questions to the teachers. For the curriculums and free lessons, go to bonsaiempire.com/courses.